In The Boys, superheroes are treated like celebrities with none more respected and celebrated than the superhero team known as the Seven. There's their narcissistic and psychotic leader Homelander, who is basically an evil Superman. A-Train has super speed, the Deep can talk to fish, Queen Maeve has super strength, Black Noir can regenerate, and translucent skin can become invulnerable and invisible. The arrogant and corrupt heroes work for the mega corporation Vought International and care more about their public image and the perks being famous provides than the countless lives their superheroics could save. Season 1 of The Boys introduces Hughie Campbell, whose girlfriend Robin is accidentally killed by being run through at super speed by A-Train. Hughie is devastated by the loss and angered when A-Train faces zero repercussions. And that's when Hughie meets Billy Butcher, leader of The Boys, a vigilante group looking to take down the Seven and their corrupt Vought overlords. Butcher has a personal grudge against Homelander, as the superhero had assaulted and killed his wife, Becca. Other members of the team include Mother's Milk and Frenchie. The boys manage to apprehend and kill Seven-member Translucent, while also learning more information to help expose Vought and the Seven. They learn that A-Train has a secret girlfriend named Popclaw, and that he is taking a drug called Compound V to boost his powers. The boys force Popclaw into becoming their informant, and she points them toward their Compound V supplier, the Triad. The boys break into a Triad hideout and discover a superpowered test subject named Kimiko, who has been dubbed the Female. The mute Kimiko joins the boys and develops a relationship with Frenchie. When A-Train discovers Popclaw's betrayal, he kills her. Meanwhile, Vought begins holding auditions for a new member to join the Seven, following the retirement of a member known as Lamplighter. The optimistic and well-intentioned Annie, who can absorb electrical energy to grant her superhuman power, is hired to join the Seven as the superhero Starlight. But she quickly learns that her childhood heroes weren't quite as heroic as she thought they'd be. Vought forces her into wearing a revealing costume, and the Deep sexually assaults her, leading Annie to quickly become disillusioned with her new role. By chance, Annie ends up meeting Hughie, and they develop a romantic relationship. They motivate each other to stand up for their beliefs and bond over their shared hatred for the Seven. During a press conference, Annie breaks away from her planned script and publicly calls out Vought's behavior and her sexual assault at the hands of the Deep. In response, Vought fires the Deep from the Seven and forces him to become a hero in the much smaller market of Sandusky, Ohio. When Butcher finds out about Hughie's relationship with Annie, he forces him to secretly exploit her for information on how the boys can best take down the Seven. When Annie finds out about this, it fractures her relationship with Hughie. Throughout the season, the boys discover that Vought has been using Compound V on newborn babies to create superheroes that they could raise and profit from. The truth about her superpowered origins devastates Annie. Meanwhile, Homelander is using Compound V to create terrorists that the Seven could fight, boosting their importance and power. Butcher then introduces Hughie to Colonel Grace Mallory, founder of the boys. Mallory had quit her mission to take down the Seven after Lamplighter murdered her family. Despite Butcher's pleas for her help, Mallory refuses, but does reveal that Homelander has complicated romantic feelings for Vought executive Madeline Stillwell. She also warns Hughie that Butcher doesn't actually care about the boys or their mission to bring justice to the Seven, and is purely driven by revenge against Homelander. Meanwhile, Homelander is discovering secrets of his own. He had been told by Stillwell and Vought that Becca Butcher had become pregnant with his child and died along with the baby during childbirth. Homelander confronts Dr. Vogelbaum, a former Vought scientist who raised Homelander after giving him his powers, and learns a shocking truth about Becca. Homelander goes to confront Stillwell about her betrayal, only to find Butcher is holding her hostage and covered her in explosives. Homelander reveals to Butcher that Becca is still alive and has given birth to a son, then kills Stillwell himself. Still driven by revenge, Butcher detonates the explosives. Homelander saves Butcher from the blast and delivers him to the secret home of Becca and her now 8-year-old son Ryan. A shocked Becca and Butcher watch as Homelander introduces himself to his son, and Ryan's eyes grow red with the same powers as his father. I want to cut in real quick and tell you about this video sponsor, Incogni. Did you know your personal information could be getting sold online right now without you even knowing about it? I'm talking about your phone number, your address, your social security number, your online activity, your location history, and more. Data brokers use websites online called people search sites, which basically compile detailed personal profiles on millions of Americans and publish them online for anyone to see. That can leave you exposed to scammers, online harassment, and identity thieves. And this doesn't just affect you. With your household and employment information online, your associates, family, even your children are at risk. And that's where Incogni comes in. They reach out to data brokers on your behalf and make sure that your personal data is removed. You just sign up for an Incogni account, grant them the right to contact data brokers on your behalf, and then just sit back and let them go to work. I was shocked upon first signing up for Incogni and realizing my own personal information was found on over 80 different data broker sites. But Incogni got to work immediately to remove and secure my information. And the best part is, anytime my info pops up on a data broker site in the future, Incogni automatically detects it and takes care of it immediately. There are so many horrifying ways your easily acquirable personal information can be used against you, like scammers taking out loans in your name, health insurance companies raising your rates due to your online activity, or even someone with road rage finding out your name and address just by typing in your license plate number online. But with Incogni, you'll never have to worry about any of that. So go to incogni.com/recap and use promo code RECAP at checkout to get 60% off your annual plan. That's incogni.com/recap to take your personal data off the market. Thanks so much to Incogni for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back to the recap. In season 2 of The Boys, Homelander begins training his son Ryan on his superhero abilities, much to the dismay of Becca. Meanwhile, Homelander is also butting heads with his boss, Vought CEO Stan Edgar, who places a new hero, Stormfront, in the Seven. It turns out Stormfront and Homelander are actually a perfect match, as Stormfront is secretly a white supremacist who uses her powers to support and promote her racist agenda. Homelander and Stormfront enter into a relationship, and the two begin bringing out the worst in each other. Elsewhere in the Seven, the Deep desperately wants to earn his spot back on the roster and joins the Scientology-like Church of the Collective to help rehab his image, which includes an arranged marriage to a woman named Cassandra. A-Train's Compound V addiction and withdrawals have weakened his powers, and he's kicked off the team, leading him to also join the church. Queen Maeve begins to feel guilty over her complicity in Vought's villainous actions and starts looking for ways to take down her employers. In an attempt to keep Maeve in line, Homelander publicly reveals her relationship with a woman named Elena. And then there's Annie, who continues to work with Hughie to expose Vought's corruption. Annie leaks to the public that Vought is using Compound V to create superheroes. Elsewhere, the titular boys have become wanted fugitives after Butcher is blamed for Madeline Stillwell's death. They learn about a new superpowered terrorist on the loose and try to get help from their CIA contact Raynor, but the agent's head explodes as she is murdered by an unknown superpowered villain. Butcher makes a deal with Mallory to capture the terrorist in exchange for her giving him information on Becca's new location. The boys then discover the terrorist is actually Kimiko's brother Kenji. While attempting to bring Kenji to the CIA, Homelander and Stormfront attack, resulting in Stormfront killing Kenji and several other innocent civilians. Stan Edgar blames the deaths and destruction on Kenji, using the event as proof of the Seven's necessity, and blames Compound V on rogue scientists working for Stillwell. Mallory provides Butcher with Becca's location, but when he tries to rescue her, she refuses to leave without Ryan, whom Butcher doesn't accept. Mallory also helps the boys uncover the truth behind the origins of Stormfront. It turns out Stormfront is actually much older than she appears. She was the widow of Vought founder Frederick Vought and the first to be injected with Compound V, making her the world's first superhero, then going by the name Liberty. Oh, and she also was a Nazi who socialized with Hitler. Annie then teams up with the boys as they follow a lead to the mysterious Sage Grove Psychiatric Hospital. There, the group discovers that Vought is attempting to stabilize Compound V in adult subjects. They uncover a bunch of incriminating evidence and even capture former Seven-member Lamplighter, who is working at the hospital and overseeing the captive superpowered patients. The boys take Lamplighter to Mallory, who has long sought revenge on the Soup for killing her family. Lamplighter shows remorse and agrees to testify against Vought in court, causing Mallory to spare his life. For her involvement with the boys, Vought has Annie arrested and placed into a superpowered prison cell. Hughie convinces Lamplighter to join him in infiltrating Vought to rescue her, but once inside, Lamplighter instead sets himself on fire to end his guilt. Despite this, Annie manages to break out of her cell and escapes with an assist from Maeve. Without Lamplighter as a witness, Butcher convinces Dr. Vogelbaum to testify against Vought. The boys and Mallory team up with Congresswoman Victoria Newman to take down Vought in court, but during the hearing, the mysterious superpowered assassin strikes again, exploding the heads of Vogelbaum and several other attendees. Hughie and Annie then try to convince Maeve to testify against Vought, but she refuses. A-Train then helps them expose Stormfront's Nazi past to the public, believing Stormfront's removal from the Seven would help him rejoin. Homelander and Stormfront pay Becca and Ryan a visit and manipulate Ryan to leave his mother to join them. A distraught Becca begs for Butcher to rescue her son, which he reluctantly agrees to do. Secretly, Butcher makes a deal with Stan Edgar, promising to bring him Ryan. Edgar would get to use Ryan as a means to better control Homelander, while in return, Edgar would also exonerate the boys and allow Becca to be with Butcher. The boys devise a plan to save Ryan, setting off a sonic device to distract Homelander. After rescuing Ryan, Butcher has a change of heart and asks Mother's Milk to take Becca and Ryan to the CIA, betraying Stan Edgar. Stormfront attacks the group, but Annie and Kimiko team up to fight the racist supervillain. Maeve even arrives to help in the fight, but Stormfront manages to escape. Stormfront attacks Becca, prompting Ryan to use his laser eyes for the first time to save his mother. Ryan amputates all of Stormfront's limbs, but also accidentally leaves his mother with a fatal wound. As Becca dies, Butcher promises that he will protect Ryan and ensure he grows up to be a hero, unlike his father Homelander. And so, Butcher turns the child over to Mallory and the CIA to ensure his protection. Stan Edgar then holds a press conference blaming the attack at the Senate hearing on Stormfront and announcing that the production and release of Compound V is indefinitely paused, leading to the boys being cleared of all charges. Annie and A-Train are allowed back into the Seven, frustrating the Deep, who leaves the Church of the Collective. As the season comes to a close, Congresswoman Victoria Newman creates the Federal Bureau of Superhuman Affairs to keep superpowered individuals in check, with her first official employee being Hughie. Unfortunately, and unbeknownst to Hughie, it's revealed that Newman is actually the superpowered assassin, as she explodes the head of Church of the Collective leader Alistair Adana upon learning of his plans to expose dirt on dozens of superheroes. In Season 3 of The Boys, a year has passed and the titular team are now working as contract soldiers to take down rogue supes under the leadership of Victoria Newman's Bureau of Superhero Affairs. Mother's Milk has grown tired of Butcher's violent and erratic methods and leaves the team to help co-parent his daughter in peace. Meanwhile, Butcher is still mourning Becca and is struggling to connect with Ryan, blaming him for Becca's death despite his best efforts to forgive the innocent child. Unfortunately, Hughie soon discovers that his boss Victoria is actually the villainous head-exploding soup assassin. And to complicate things even further, while looking into Victoria's past, Hughie discovers that she is actually the secret adopted daughter of Vought CEO Stan Edgar. To help get over the public scandal of Stormfront being an evil Nazi that Homelander was dating, Vought names Starlight as the new co-leader of the Seven. During a televised press conference, Homelander loses his public veneer of sanity and lashes out about his persecution under Vaught's leadership, and how he is the savior of the world and should be treated like it. Despite fearing that showing his true self to the world would lead to losing the public support, it instead only serves to make Homelander's fanbase of incel white men more devoted and rabid. Much to MM's dismay, that fanbase also includes his daughter's new stepfather. Feeling more powerful than ever, Homelander threatens mass genocide if Starlight doesn't fall in line and pretend to be his new girlfriend, while also making sure his loyal lapdog, the Deep, is reinstated into the Seven. Despite her warnings, Starlight's ex-boyfriend Supersonic becomes the newest member of the Seven and promises to protect her from Homelander's wrath, which only leads to Homelander brutally murdering him as a threat to Starlight. Homelander then aligns with Victoria to use her political platform to condemn Stan's actions and publicly expose Vaught's corruption under his leadership. Stan Edgar is then ousted as Vaught's CEO, and Homelander gives Victoria Compound V to use on her own daughter as payment. president. Homelander then helps elevate the power-hungry and desperate publicist Ashley as the new CEO of Vought, knowing that she would be completely under his control. The Deep is then tasked to assassinate the running mate of the leading candidate for the United States presidency, clearing the way for Victoria to be on the ticket for vice president. Meanwhile, A-Train becomes furious and dismayed over a soup named Blue Hawk using excessive force against African Americans. When A-Train forces him to publicly apologize during a press conference, Blue Hawk instead becomes enraged and attacks the crowd, injuring and paralyzing A-Train's brother. A-Train gets revenge by brutally killing Blue Hawk, but then suffers a heart attack while using his super speed. A-Train survives, ironically thanks to a transplant using Blue Hawk's heart. Elsewhere within the Seven, Queen Maeve is secretly working with Billy Butcher to search for a way to take down Homelander for good. They become friends with benefits, and Maeve gives Butcher several vials of V24, nicknamed Temp V, a new Vought drug that temporarily grants superpowers. Maeve also points Butcher toward a mysterious weapon that could be powerful enough to kill Homelander, as it had previously been used to kill America's first and most popular superhero Soldier Boy 40 years prior. Mother's Milk rejoins the boys in their quest to uncover the truth behind Soldier Boy's death, as Soldier Boy's reckless heroics had led to the death of MM's grandfather. The boys' mission leads them to Soldier Boy's former superhero team Payback, which included many other soups, including Black Noir, that just so happened to go on missions with the CIA, led by none other than Grace Mallory. Mallory tells the boys that she led Payback on a mission in Russia that resulted in the team being defeated and Soldier Boy missing and presumably killed by a mysterious Russian superweapon. And so Butcher leads the boys to Russia to investigate and find the weapon. Hughie and Butcher both take Temp V to develop superpowers to aid in their mission, with Butcher gaining super strength, durability, and laser vision, and Hughie gaining strength, durability, and the power to teleport. The boys infiltrate a Russian base and discover Soldier Boy alive and captured. Awakened and freed from his decades-long slumber, a confused Soldier Boy unleashes a powerful radioactive energy blast that strikes Kimiko, critically injuring her and removing her powers. As Soldier Boy flees, the boys realize that he is in fact the super weapon that has the power to defeat Homelander. As the boys hunt for the missing and volatile Soldier Boy, they discover that he was always antagonistic and abusive to his Payback teammates, so they sold him out on behalf of Stan Edgar to the Russians. During the Russian attack, after realizing the betrayal, Soldier Boy brutally beat up, disfigured, and brain damaged Black Noir. During Soldier Boy's captivity, the Russians conducted decades worth of experiments on him that have left him radioactively unstable. Despite the dangers Soldier Boy poses and MM's strong desire for revenge, Butcher and Hughie agree to work with the powerful Soup to kill his entire Payback team, in exchange for Soldier Boy helping them kill Homelander. Starlight is dismayed by Hughie's actions, recklessly taking Temp V and aligning with a dangerous and antagonistic killer. This inspires her to drop her Soup name and live as Annie, resign from the Seven, and publicly condemn Vought, Homelander, and Soldier Boy's corruption. She also secretly films and broadcasts Homelander going on a rant and confessing to all of his past villainy. In her last act at Vought, Annie steals Compound V and gives it to Kimiko to restore her powers and heal her injuries. Annie also discovers that Temp V will kill its users after several doses. Butcher ignores this warning and continues taking Temp V to aid in his mission to kill Homelander, although he does force Hughie to stop taking the drug to protect him. As the volatile Soldier Boy seeks to further uncover the corruption that led to his betrayal, he discovers that Homelander is in fact his biological son, born out of Vought's research into Soldier Boy's own genetics. When Homelander learns of this and realizes Black Noir has long known and withheld this secret from him, Homelander spitefully kills his Seven teammate. In the end, the boys Annie and Maeve all team up to defeat Homelander once and for all. As Soldier Boy confronts Homelander for being weak and undeserving of his family legacy, he discovers the Soup has found and reconciled with his biological son Ryan. Soldier Boy ignores the well-being of the child and attacks Homelander, putting Ryan in danger. Valuing Ryan's safety over his desire for revenge against Homelander, Butcher intervenes to save Ryan and inadvertently spare his arch-rival. As Homelander, Butcher, and Soldier Boy all face off, Ryan sides with Homelander because he offers him unconditional love, while Butcher has only pushed him away as a reminder of the death of Becca. During the brutal face-off, Maeve arrives to fight Homelander, resulting in her losing an eye. Hughie helps power up Annie, finally accepting his inner strength and realizing he doesn't need powers to be a hero. As Annie uses her powers against Soldier Boy, he begins to overheat and nears a radioactive explosion that would kill everyone, and so Maeve sacrifices herself to tackle Soldier Boy out of a window. As the pair plummet to the ground, Soldier Boy explodes, and both Supes are presumed dead. Amidst the chaos, Homelander flees with Ryan. Unbeknownst to the public, Maeve is still alive, but the blast has removed her powers, allowing her to live a normal life in peace with her girlfriend. Meanwhile, a weakened Soldier Boy is captured and imprisoned by Grace Mallory. As the season comes to a close, a protester calling out Homelander's evil actions accidentally strikes Ryan, leading to Homelander using his powers to publicly murder the man. But instead of being met with horror, the crowd cheers for their god, with none more in awe of Homelander than his corrupted son Ryan. And that's everything you need to know from the first 3 seasons of The Boys. But season 4 will also continue the story started in season 1 of the spin-off series Gen V. Season 1 of Gen V is set at the superhero college Godalkin University, or God U. Marie Moreau is a new student who has the ability to control blood with her mind. Upon first hitting puberty years prior, Marie's powers unexpectedly developed, leading her to accidentally killing her own parents, forcing her and her sister to be separated in foster care. Now, Marie is attending God U on a scholarship sponsored by Congresswoman Victoria Newman. At God U, Marie makes fast friends with her roommate Emma, who has the power to shrink or grow her body by purging or binging food. Marie also meets Luke, aka Golden Boy, a super strong and pyrokinetic Supe who is the most popular guy at school and on track to become the newest member of the Seven upon graduation. Luke's best friend is Andre, who has magnetism manipulation abilities, and Luke's girlfriend is Kate, who can control minds by touching her target. And then there's Jordan, a gender shifter who can fire energy blasts in their female form and are indestructible in their male form. Unfortunately, as Marie acclimates to her new school, Luke appears to have a sudden psychotic break, killing his mentor before flying into the sky and exploding. All of Luke's friends are shocked and devastated by his actions and begin looking into his death. During their investigation, Andre and Kate develop romantic feelings for each other, though both feel guilty due to their love for the deceased Luke. The friends eventually discover that God U is actually home of a secret Vought research facility known as the Woods, which conducts various experiments on Supes, including the development of a Supe virus that could kill anyone with powers. The friends free Luke's younger brother Sam from the Woods, and he soon begins dating Emma. The friends then learn that the Woods also conducted experiments on Luke and Sam, giving Luke some of his brother's super strength while forcing Sam to remain imprisoned and experimented on. Every time Luke remembered the torture his brother was forced to endure, his memory was erased by his girlfriend Kate, who had been mentored by God U's Dean Shetty. Shetty had previously helped Kate control the powers that destroyed her childhood and pushed her entire family away. As Luke's mind became more broken with every memory wipe, he grew more unstable, leading to his explosion and death. Andre and the others are shocked and devastated by Kate's betrayal. When Kate discovers that Shetty was involved in the development of the Supe virus and had been manipulating Kate to serve her own treacherous motives, Kate kills the Dean. Kate then teams up with the similarly vengeful Sam to stage a riot at God U, exposing the virus publicly, releasing all of the Woods captives, and viciously slaughtering all of the non-Supe humans at God U. Marie, Andre, Emma, and Jordan are forced to battle their friends to thwart their violent campus rampage. In the fight, Marie blows up Kate's arm to protect Jordan from being mind-controlled. Amidst the chaos, Homelander arrives to put an end to the fighting, confronting Marie and her allies for their disloyalty to Supes. Marie, Andre, Emma, and Jordan are all subdued and imprisoned in a new secret research hospital and publicly blamed for the massacre at God U, with Kate and Sam being hailed as heroes. As the season comes to a close, Billy Butcher arrives at the ruins of the Woods, in search of the Supe-killing virus. But unfortunately for Butcher, the duplicitous Victoria Newman has gotten her hands on the virus first.